Mark writes in the simple Greek that he has, very straightforward, short sentences. His Greek reproduces actually quite often the Aramaic idiom. Here we have two perfect examples. What between us and you? Of course that comes through as, what have we to do with you? And then straight afterwards we have this other one, I know you who you are, in the Greek, the Holy One of God. So we hear precisely echoes of what was once pronounced here on earth, but this is a very strange dialogue. Spirits recognize him. And so it is in our time. Spirits recognize him. They know full well when they're being cheated. If someone brings to their commons hosts which are supposed to be the real thing, he knows straight away if they're not. One time, years ago, an exorcism was taking place, and the exorcist started to use holy water, and the demons snorted. You can wipe your nose with that water. Apparently it had been a mistake, and it was not actually yet blessed. It was taken from an unblessed bottle which had not yet had the treatment, which does make it quite different. A very holy priest, actually of the Eastern Orthodox Church, who died a martyr in Romania, knew the power of holy water, even to heal, and said that one should take a drop of holy water, swallow it every morning upon waking. It had an effect. One time, a priest took Holy Communion to a privileged soul, and that soul knew straight away that the host had not been consecrated. It turned out, after investigation, that the priest actually was distracted and had jumped from the memento of the living, which happens before the consecration, to the memento of the dead, which happens afterwards, and thus the consecration had not taken place. The Mass was invalid, and so there was no presence. The demons know things, and also in the time of the Reformation, in the years following, multiple episodes happened when Calvinistic ministers tried to ape what the others were doing, and again the demons snorted. There was a case there when the Protestant minister tried to use the so-called consecrated elements of the Last Supper that they had been celebrating, the Lord's Supper, and the devil made fun of them. Whereas when it came to the use of the sacred host by the Catholic priest, it had a huge effect. So the devils, in a way, affirm the truth, although unwillingly. They demonstrate by the way they behave where the truth is. And so it is that we have here also the people themselves testifying against their own, in a way, the Pharisees, that this one was different, because whereas the scribes in the synagogues could but interpret what came from the authority of Moses, here we have the new Moses speaking with authority himself, and people know the difference. This can happen also in our own preaching. To preach with authority is to dare to say things in the name of the one that we're serving, which perhaps the people do not want to hear. One loses all authority if one only says what they want to hear. or what they're supposed to talk about, avoiding all other issues. Some years ago, we had the famous case of Anneliese Michael in Bavaria. The sequence of very powerful exorcisms can be found on tape. Strange things come out there. Given the period, the mid-1970s, the confessions of the demons are interesting. They show how much the demons themselves had been pushing certain things. Now it has got even more successful for them, and it is more and more easy to get a hold of the sacred host. This principle of sub-delegating is quite wrong. If a priest with due authority asks for the collaboration of extraordinary ministers, they themselves should not be sub-delegating and, for instance, giving Holy Communion to people coming up to them with pyxes in their hands. These pyxes must be going straight away, not to a sub-delegated person, but to the priest himself, so that he knows exactly where they're going and who is sick in the parish. It's too easy to use these shortcuts which only lend a helping hand to Satan and his minions. The Blessed Sacrament is too expensive to be made cheap and given to all and sundry, especially sundry. Therefore, people are going out with them and we're not quite sure where they're going or how the Lord is being treated. People might be found in a supermarket afterwards with the Blessed Sacrament in their bag. They might actually end up in people's pockets and perhaps even the back pocket. It's actually awful when one thinks that one is handling the Lord of Hosts, that the angels see and the demons fear. We are dishonouring and not honouring the Lord by making him so available that he's just, as it were, an extra bit during an encounter between human beings who talk about the football and have very little time for a thanksgiving after the Lord has been received. It's all messy. And the demons have been actually proud to admit it. They love, for instance, Holy Communion received in the hand because many things happen there, including the fact that very often they can end up on the ground, where they can be trampled upon. They love to see the Lord of Hosts trampled upon. And how happy they are that we do their work by not protecting at all the one that actually they do fear, far more than we do. And so this encounter, the beginning of the public ministry of the Lord in St. Mark, says many things. Authority, kingdom authority. We need to relearn our nothingness. He commands, and he commands how he should be honoured. We think we know better. Is it likely that the celebrant who has an itch to invent all the time at the altar is actually pleasing to God, than the humble one who disappears and just says the black and does the red? All we have to do is listen to authority actually on the page. Alas, pride has come into the house of God and has enthroned itself at the very altar itself.